The world has been talking about de-dollarization for years. Countries are forming alliances, shifting trade agreements, and new currencies are emerging. Some predict that the US dollar will eventually lose its power. Yet, despite all these predictions, the dollar remains the king of global finance. Why hasn't the dollar lost its throne? What keeps it at the top when so many challengers are rising? Today, we're going to explore the real reasons why the US dollar still dominates the world economy and why it's unlikely to lose its position anytime soon. 1. Historical foundation and legacy. The story of the dollar's dominance begins after World War II. The United States emerged as the strongest economy in the world. Its industrial capacity, wealth, and political influence made it the natural leader of the post-war global economy. In 1944, the Bretton Woods Agreement officially made the US dollar the world's reserve currency, initially backed by gold. This created a level of global trust that no other currency could match. Even when the US left the gold standard in 1971 under President Nixon, the dollar had already cemented itself as the backbone of international trade and finance. Countries had built their systems around it. Global markets, central banks, and international businesses had all adapted to using dollars. This historical advantage is something that newer currencies simply cannot replicate overnight. 2. Trust, stability, and reliability. One of the main reasons the dollar dominates is trust. Investors, governments, and businesses worldwide believe in the stability of the US financial system. The Federal Reserve, despite occasional criticism, is widely respected for maintaining economic stability. The US has strong legal institutions, property rights, and enforcement systems that make contracts and investments reliable. Even during political conflicts, debt crises, or recessions, the dollar remains a safe choice. Countries and investors would rather hold dollars than risk an alternative that could fail or be manipulated. Trust is not built overnight. It takes decades, and the US has earned it. 3. The petrodollar system. The 1970s introduced another powerful factor, the petrodollar. The United States made agreements with major oil-producing nations, including Saudi Arabia, to price oil exclusively in US dollars. Since oil is the most traded commodity globally, countries around the world were forced to hold dollars to buy energy. This system created a massive and enduring demand for dollars, embedding the currency even deeper into global trade. Even today, when countries trade oil, they do so almost always in US dollars. This means every nation, whether they like it or not, relies on the greenback to keep their economies running. 4. Depth and liquidity of US financial markets. The United States offers the largest, most liquid, and most diverse financial markets in the world. From treasury bonds to equities and derivatives, investors have unparalleled access to opportunities in the US. This liquidity ensures that investors can buy or sell assets with ease, without worrying about market crashes caused by illiquidity. No other currency offers this combination of stability, transparency, and market depth. For investors and governments alike, holding dollars isn't just about convenience. It's about access to the most advanced financial infrastructure on the planet. 5. The dollar in global trade. Roughly 90% of all foreign exchange transactions involve the US dollar. More than half of all global trade is invoiced in dollars, even in transactions that don't directly involve the United States. For example, when Brazil trades with India, they often settle in dollars because it's the easiest, safest, and most universally accepted currency. This wide adoption creates a cycle. The more countries use the dollar, the more indispensable it becomes. Switching to another currency would require an enormous shift in global trade infrastructure, which is not easy or fast. 6. Weak alternatives. Yes, other currencies like the euro, the Chinese yuan, and digital assets like Bitcoin are rising, but they all have limitations. The euro faces political instability, with member countries having differing fiscal policies. The Chinese yuan is tightly controlled by Beijing, limiting global trust in its stability. Cryptocurrencies, though popular, are far too volatile to serve as reliable reserve currencies. No single alternative combines trust, liquidity, global acceptance, and stability in the way the US dollar does. That's why, even in a changing world, the dollar remains the dominant choice. 7. Safe haven during crises. Whenever a global crisis hits, be it war, recession, or a pandemic, investors rush to the US dollar. This flight to safety is a strong indicator that the dollar remains the world's safest asset. In turbulent times, governments and individuals alike choose dollars to protect wealth, further reinforcing its dominant status. The US dollar's dominance is not a coincidence. It is the result of decades of history, trust, global agreements, and unmatched financial infrastructure. While other currencies may rise and challenge its position, the dollar's grip on global trade, finance, and safe haven investment remains incredibly strong. So, the next time you hear talk about the fall of the dollar, remember this: the world still runs on green. Its dominance isn't just about money, it's about power, stability, and trust that no other currency can match.